My husband said I was overreacting about his friend's jokes about my weight. Then his friend's wife showed up at my door with wine and said she finally left him after watching him do to me what he'd done to her for 15 years. It started small. My husband's best friend Brennan would make little comments at barbecues. "Better watch those ribs, someone's getting a little thick around the middle." He'd laugh like it was the funniest thing in the world. My husband would join in, never once telling him to stop. "She knows I'm just keeping her honest," Brennan would say, patting my shoulder like we were in on some joke together. I'd smile. Force it. Swallow the humiliation. Because that's what you do when your husband's friend has known him since college and you've only been in the picture for 4 years. You don't make waves, you don't cause problems, you certainly don't complain about harmless jokes. But the comments got worse, louder, more public. At my husband's birthday dinner, Brennan announced to the entire table that I'd gone back for seconds. "Someone's hungry tonight. Better slow down or you won't fit in that dress much longer." The whole table went quiet. Some people laughed nervously. Others stared at their plates. I excused myself to the bathroom and cried for half an hour, listening to the muffled sounds of the party continuing without me. When I told my husband how much it hurt, he looked at me like I was being ridiculous. That's just how Brennan is. He jokes around with everyone. It's his sense of humor. I asked him to name one other person Brennan made comments about. Just one example of him joking about someone else's appearance. My husband couldn't think of a single one. "You're being too sensitive," he finally said. "He doesn't mean anything by it. You're making this into something it's not." After that, I started declining invitations when I knew Brennan would be there. My husband got annoyed, started making passive-aggressive comments about how I was making things awkward for the group. "Can't you just take a joke? Everyone thinks you're being weird about this." So I went, and I endured more comments about my portions, my clothing choices, whether I'd been hitting the gym lately, how I really should try that new diet his wife was on. At our last gathering, Brennan brought it up in front of his wife, Vanessa. "Your wife's looking healthy these days," he told my husband with a smirk, using that word the way people do when they mean the opposite. Vanessa went completely still, her wine glass frozen halfway to her mouth. The way she looked at me in that moment, it wasn't judgment. It wasn't agreement with her husband. It was recognition. It was horror. That was 2 weeks ago. Last night, my doorbell rang at 8 in the evening. I wasn't expecting anyone. I opened it to find Vanessa standing there with 2 bottles of wine and tears streaming down her face. Her eyes were red and swollen like she'd been crying for hours. "Can I come in?" she asked, her voice shaking. "I need to talk to you, please." I let her inside. She sat on my couch, opened one of the bottles without asking for glasses, and took a long drink straight from it. Her hands were trembling. "I left him," she said, "this morning, packed a bag while he was at work, and I'm never going back." "I'm sorry," I said, not sure what else to say. "Are you okay?" She laughed, but it was hollow and broken. "No, but I will be, eventually." She looked at me with those same haunted eyes I'd seen at the barbecue, eyes that had seen too much and stayed silent too long. "I need to tell you something. About Brennan. About what he's really like when no one else is watching." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" Vanessa took another long drink. "Those jokes he makes about your weight? That's how it started with me too. 15 years ago, when we first started dating, little comments. Helpful suggestions, observations about what I was eating. I couldn't fit what happens next in this short video. Watch the full story below.